and then he sent them to the diddler.
As a result of being around that man, Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day. I got it from him.
Being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. Yeah.
In a recent podcast, Hallow User takes listeners deep into the shadows of Diddy's world, shining a light on Usher's unsettling experience at the infamous Flavor Camp. At just 14 years old, Usher was allegedly placed in an environment steeped in inappropriate adult behavior, a space no teenager should ever be exposed to. The podcast raises troubling questions about the fine line between mentorship and manipulation, urging a closer look at the power dynamics behind the scenes.
On my way around, I don't know the culture of what this place is. I don't even know what the word culture meant at the time. And it was hard. There were a lot of things I seen and a lot of positions that I think I was put in where I had to make very, very tough decisions in my life about who I would be. I was 13 years old, and being 13, having that type of exposure, it was cool to go to Howard Homecoming with Puff. It was great to be able to go to Club USA or the Supper Club, with Puffy in that time, or the Tunnel. But these are places that a 13-year-old probably should not be. Most kids will be excited about it. Most kids are trying to figure out, how to be around, hot girls, pretty girls. I'm around grown women, and I'm seeing them do things and have experiences that I'm not quite ready for. And I think that he was just trying to show me the lifestyle. However, that's not what I was there for. I was there because I wanted a career, man. So we would fight, we would tussle. More than often, I think Puffy would say, man, you got to chill. Like, you're just a little bit too intense. You got to relax. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I'm 13 years old, like banging on this man as though, I am the manager. I am the spokesperson for Usher. And I'm telling him, look, you're going to put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there. You got Craig Mack in there. You're going to make me a priority, too. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? I think as a kid, I realized, hey, look, that's not my ring. That's not my moment. That's not my bottle. That's not my drink. That's not my celebration. So I'm not here to celebrate. I wanted people to be excited about me the way that they were excited about him. I wanted my own success.
The story suggests that Usher's rise to fame, including his iconic Super Bowl performance, may have come with hidden challenges, potentially linked to his early association with Diddy. As a teenager, Usher might have been exposed to situations no young artist should endure, learning to mask uncomfortable truths behind a carefully crafted public persona. There are even whispers of deeper connections involving Kim Porter and the complex dynamics behind the scenes. Now, Gene Deal steps into the conversation, shedding further light on what may have really happened behind closed doors.
How many kids and girls you think he's done these things to?
How many underage,
Yeah.
Pat? I wouldn't put it past him, maybe 20. Maybe 20 or more. What?
We're making up numbers at this point. I think when there's smoke, there's fire. They're going to find some stuff. I don't know the number. It could be 2. It could be 200.
When a kid go, like, for example, you watch... did you see the Justin Bieber interview with this one guy he did where he's crying?
Yes.
I don't know. Did you see that?
He's talking about Haley, and he's like, he's bawling, Pat, because he doesn't want that to happen to her.
This is the one where he says he was living in shame.
If you find this clip, and he's interviewing this guy, and the guy, the way he's doing the interview makes him feel very comfortable. He's actually doing a great job.
I think I have it. This is it. Where he's actually talking about Billie Eilish, I believe.
Billie Eilish,
and that's when he starts.
Yeah, my bad.
I want her to know that, she can count on me, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments, because people take for granted encounters and
Poor kid.
Yeah. So, yeah. I just...
you believe him? I believe him.
I just want to protect her, Mm-hmm. I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Go through anything that I went through.
Yeah, if she ever needs me,
Can't even look at the camera.
I'm just a call away.
Okay. Let's play along with this and go through the sequencing together. Let's say everything we believe that happened, that Diddy did to him, when he says, I have him in custody for the next 48 hours. And we're doing some things that we can't really be talking about to everybody, right? And he's 15 years old. Okay. And then the next time Diddy runs into him, he says, hey, how come you haven't called me lately? You don't call me back. And I said, well, I've just been busy, but my number changed. I don't have your new number. You can tell Bieber is scared.
He's nervous.
And then it goes to a couple months ago when Diddy pulls up to Bieber, Rob. I don't know if you have this clip where he's touching his chest to see if he's wired or not. Patting him. He's going like this to if he's wired or not. And you can tell Bieber's looking down. He's trying to tell him. But you know how he's looking at him? He's looking at him as a defeated man, because here's a grown man in his 30s doing something to a 15-year-old boy. So then the question I ask is, how many people would he talk about this with? Like, look at this here. Look at this. That's not it?
Or a couple months ago.
Yeah. Go ahead and do this. Look at it. Boom, boom.
Head down. Padding, making sure his chest doesn't have a wire. Yeah. So that's Florida, huh, Pat? Yeah, I think that's Florida.
So, if this happens to someone's kid and you know about it, what do you do about it?
Meaning, if I knew that this happened, if
say Justin's your son, you find out this happened to your son, what do you do about it?
And it's a factual thing.
He tells you. What do you do about it?
Me, dead serious, I'm going to kill P. Diddy. Me personally, I'm going to go, what? I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. Adam, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life because I'm going to find him and I'm going to kill him with my bare hands.
The parents, where are they here? Why aren't the parents
the divorced parents? Adam,
divorced or not?
I get what you're saying, but hear me out. Your son has...
What's the price you're willing to pay for success?
But here's my thing.
There's a chance that if Justin Bieber...
Right there. That's it right there.
If Justin Bieber doesn't go to Diddy's house and go to Diddy's flavor camp, there's a chance 15 years later we never even hear of Justin Bieber. So now he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He's one of the biggest music stars in the world. And we don't even know what happened to Diddy's place.
Usher discovered, hold on a second, Justin Bieber in Canada would sit there, play the guitar, and sing in the middle of the street like those street performers, and Usher found him. And then Usher, it's almost like a grooming circle, Usher brings him
allegedly.
I said it's almost like a grooming session where he brings him back to the guy that allegedly...
The bottom line? In the world of hip-hop and celebrity culture, the loudest voices often carry the heaviest secrets. It's a stark reminder that behind the spotlight and carefully curated images, there can be a troubling disconnect between appearance and reality, one that's rarely seen but deeply felt.
Before he met Diddy, Usher was a kid who believed he was destined to be great.
I want to have a name for myself.
It was his dream.
If I don't believe it, nobody else would.
When he was only 13, the world started believing in his talent.
Young man is going places. The next Michael Jackson.
But to become a star, he had to spend a year with a man he barely knew.
I mean, I had a mother who was strict.
She's a big influence in your life, right?
Definitely. She's my manager, and I keep her with me everywhere I go.
How did you make sure that people didn't take advantage of him?
My mother used to tell me all the time, you need to stop telling people that you're going to be a big artist. I'm like, why? That's what I believe. This is what I think about myself. If I don't believe it, nobody else would. My mother was like, you're not going to be one of those people who just sitting around and sleeping on my couch. Just don't worry about it. I'll be gone by 14.
And as he broke free from the control of his mother, Usher found a father figure.
Puff Daddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Keep your dream going, baby.
As a result of being around that man, I don't sleep to this day.
Oh, Puffy was there. I didn't know him. And he said, you're going to have to trust me.
Puff Daddy becomes the legal guardian of young singer Usher Raymond.
He's going to mentor you and show you the life. We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
I'm gone. I want to entertain you.
Though Diddy was extremely controversial, he also gave Usher freedom he never had.
You know, a lot of our young brothers and sisters, there's nobody that's showing them and guiding them through the business.
But Usher was quickly thrown into a world he didn't understand.
you know, most kids would be excited about it. I'm around grown women and I'm seeing them do things.
But although his new mentor was a talented producer, working with him came at a cost.
You can believe the hype. We banging, baby.
As you see, it's female friendly.
We showing the fuck off tonight.
You spent $1.5 million on this party?
I think they never been to a Diddy party.
Were you the only kid at Puffy Flavor Camp?
Diddy made Usher feel accepted.
You may not be able to rap, you may not be able to sing, but there's something else that you could do.
At the root of Usher's passion for music was a kid looking for his father.
There's nothing like a father's love.
I suffered a long time making moves based off of the fact that I didn't have a dad.
And I was the kind of kid that, you know, always wanted the most attention, so I would go over and beyond to make sure that I got it, whether it was dancing, singing, and that actually just turned into my talent.
Usher would have to make a sacrifice if he was going to keep his dream alive.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
Nah, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was,
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And what do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And I'm
What the did Puff just say? Nobody's going to acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was stupid. Listen.
We having a good time, yo. Your Usher made it in the...
And people know that was around in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know, didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp. Y'all put it together.
And what you mean by Diddy camp?
Remember? He was on one of the talk shows. The white guy with the curly hair. What's his name? The white guy with the curly hair. And he said, yo, would you send your son to Diddy camp? And Usher said, no. Ask him why he won't send him to Diddy camp. But yet and still you praise him.
Damn, man. And you said that, I know you can't go into detail, but you said that it was a situation where Diddy sent him to the hospital?
Let Usher explain that to you. Let Usher mama explain that to you. And the hospital was in Scarsdale, New York.
I'm tired of Usher. I wish somebody would come out and just like sue him. Like, we need Usher. No, we do. We need a victim to come out and be honest about him. Because what I'm realizing is that he's going to fake the funk until the victim. He's just going to keep on sucking the devil's. And I don't know, like with a baby, that pacifier, sometimes you got to pull it out. You know what I'm saying? And take it away. Right? When the babies used to sucking on the pacifier. That motherfucker gonna keep sucking on that shit until you do what? Till you take it out the mouth. Now it's gonna scream and holler, but eventually it will get used to the fact that his mouth is no longer full with that object. And that it's time to just, learn how to live without it. He been sucking on Diddy's a long time. It's time for him to learn how to make this thing happen without the devil's in his mouth or ass.
You don't think if he sued, he'll just Lil Woody the situation? And I don't recall. I don't recall.
No, because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile on your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more raw, unfiltered content that goes beyond the headlines.